A lot of things change in 4 years. A lot of things, except facts and the history behind those facts. 4 years ago, in 2017, I was driving on this very road with my family. Got to this particular intersection. A gentleman flagged me from that side, and that is the beginning of the story of Ali Inusa. 18-year-old Ali is now 22. He bags a degree, even though he was holding only a WASI certificate at the time, which WASI certificate was presented to me on a mobile phone camera shot. Presented to me just here, this same junction. And the gentleman who did that, Umaru, is my namesake, emerged from this bush, as you see him emerging now. What were you doing here at that time that I was driving past?
Yes, that very day. I can't remember exactly what pushed me to move out of the house, but I just felt like coming to the roadside. So as I got here, I realized that the car was coming. So
My window was down.
yeah, it was down.
That's why you saw me.
So I could see you through the window. So I recognized you immediately because I used to see your pictures on Facebook.
Why did you have your brother's results on your phone? Because you just showed it to me right here.
Yes, of course. The result came. He went to check it. He himself, he couldn't believe what he saw. So when he showed it to us, I was screaming all over. And I had to call my brother. That time they were at the fitting shop over there. I had to call them and tell them that this was the result of Ali. I'm happy. And I was shouting all over. So I just have to picture it and put it on my phone. And every time I'm walking around, I just open it and I watch. I watch through. I see.
It motivates you.
Yeah, then I'm happy. That's all. So
at the time you were living here in that place, you don't live here anymore.
Yeah, now we don't live here.
But can we go and look at where you were living at the time?
Sure. We can go there.
So let's go on a walk. So we're going to see the house that Umaru and his brother Ali were living in at the time that I came here in 2017. Sorry, we have to skirt through the bush. You have to catch up with us. Where are we going to use? Okay, we can. You are the master here. Anyone you want me to do? As an old cowboy, this is pretty familiar to me. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. All right. So you have to just maneuver your way through. As is characteristic of a typical cattle farm. On the left, you can hear the cow bellowing to its calves. The calves have been restrained in a mini kraal. There's a bigger kraal which would contain the parents or the adult cattle. So this is the house you were living in?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go closer. This is your house where you were living at the time, the day you stopped me.
Yes, please.
What is this?
So this used to be our kitchen.
You used to cook here?
Yes, we used to cook here. And myself and even Ali.
You used to enter here to cook?
Yes, please.
How long have you guys lived here for?
I think we came here the year 2000.
2000?
In the year 2000, we came here.
And I met you in 2017, so that's 17 years?
Yes, that's 17 years before we met you.
Ali would have not been born when you came here, or he was just about...
I think he was a baby. He was suckling then.
He was 18 at the time, so it means he was... Wow.
I think December 1999. He was born December 1999 also. So get into the 2000s, then we moved in.
How many were you living here in this house at the time?
At the time, so 5, and then my mom and dad, so we had 7.
7?
Yes.
But it looks like just one room to me.
Yeah, so that time, I think it was only this room, and then a veranda. So we were all in one room, both mom and dad and all the children.
So you lived here all your life, almost?
Almost.
You attended secondary school, GSS while you were here? You didn't go to secondary
school? We went to GHS while I and my brother, that's Abu.
Where? Where did you go to GHS?
At Katamanso KKD today.
But government?
It was Katamanso...
basic school?
Yes.
The government school at the time?
Government school at the time.
Then after GHS, you didn't go forward?
After GHS, my brother decided to do some job to raise some money to go to secondary school. But he was like, okay, right now, if I'm able to enter the school, now my keep up, going and coming, he cannot afford, parents cannot afford. So he just have to use that money rather to go and learn work, be an apprentice at Nungwa fitter. So he went to learn mechanic.
That's your elder brother?
That's my elder brother, the one that I follow.
That's Abu?
That's Abu.
But before him, you have other brothers?
There's our senior brother, that's Hamidu. Yes. So
What does Hamidu do?
the two of them went into fitting at the same time.
Okay.
So the responsibility of helping that came to me, and then my younger one, the Sumana, before Ali.
Hamidu didn't go beyond GSS. Abubakar didn't go GSS. Umar, you didn't go beyond GSS.
No.
Then Osman, what did he do?
Osman, yeah, he too, he didn't go beyond GHS. Yeah, even though he completed, he was also he had 21. I can remember he had 21.
Aggregate 21.
21. I had 20, and then Abu had 14. Actually, he was the one who topped the class at the time.
Okay.
I was with him in the same class till we completed school.
What did Ali get in GSS?
Ali he had 11.
Aggregate 11.
Yes, he had 11.
Wow, I had 12, so he passed me by one.
Wow.
Yeah, I had 12. I mean, in my village. But my village is farther from Accra than yours, so I have done well.
Well, all the same.
So when he finished and got BECA at grade 12, what was the thinking in the house like?
Yeah, when he had 12, now he needs to go to secondary school. And we mobilized a bit, and we were able to send him to the school. So we need the scholarship then, but it wasn't coming. It wasn't coming. I think 1 year or so after, 1 year after before it came also. So I think when he was in SS2, getting to the end of the term, I mean getting to the end of the this thing, how do you call it?
The year?
The year. Before the scholarship fund was prepared.
From where?
From Ponkatmanso
District Assembly. Okay.
Yes.
So they gave some scholarship to continue.
Yes, to continue. Because even at the time when the scholarship came, it was just at the point, because that time everything was exhausted.
He would not have
He
continued.
would not have continued.
You work on a cattle farm, your parents and yourselves. You have plenty cattle. The viewer watching me would say, why didn't his father sell a cow or two to send Ali to school and the rest of the siblings? What's your answer to that?
I think that one is not possible like that, because you know this cattle work, there are thieves coming all over stealing them. You understand? And when you tell the owner that a cattle has got missing or it has been stolen, they don't believe you. They will think it is you who did it. So why should you go furthermore to say that you are going to sell a cow which doesn't belong to you? Yes, so you can't do it.
So the fundamental story is that the cattle didn't belong to your father.
They don't belong to my father. They don't belong to my father. He was just a herdsman who was taking charge of them for the owners. So
Was there a salary for your father?
there wasn't any salary.
So 3 years ago, around 2018, your father decided enough was enough, and
Enough was enough.
has he moved to another cattle place to go and take out someone else's cattle, like typically happens?
No. I think my dad, he had a problem on his, I think it's his right knee or so.
Okay.
So one day he went to the bush, and the knee just locked him. So he just found some place and then sat down until like an hour or two before he was able to manage to wake up again. So that day when he came, he called us and told us that something happened to him today in the bush, and he don't think he can continue with the animals anymore. So we will now take charge. So since then, I think me and my younger brother Sumana. So this one will go today, then tomorrow this one will go. And so if I go today and Sumana will go tomorrow, so tomorrow I will go to my welding shop and then come home, then continue tomorrow in the bush, and Sumana will go to his organizer shop. So that's how we did it every day. That's how we changed it.
So you gave up?
For almost like getting to 14 or so years before we decided that now enough is enough, so we will not follow them anymore. So you have to change and then do something else.
And so you moved from this house?
So we moved.
Is it your own house where you moved to? Or you are renting?
Yes, please. We didn't rent.
So your father managed to put up something?
Yes, I must say so, but it's like someone actually, a good Samaritan.
Did it for him?
Indigene of number 2.
Kubekru number 2?
Yes, he was given like his partly share by his elders as the land, and he managed to give us quarter plot over there.
You've heard Umaru explain there that they're no more in this house, they've moved. We're going to follow to their new house and speak to Ali, his parents. Well, this is Kubekru number 2, also on the stretch between Katamaso and Apollonia. We've just come to the residence of Ali's father, and well, we've seen a crowd here, friends, neighbors, schoolmates, family members, local authorities, and everybody's converged here as we celebrate the story and life of Ali Inusa. Our young man here to my left, Congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you feeling about all of this? You're on television, you're on social media, everywhere. How are you feeling?
It feels very great. It feels very great. Yeah.
Are people calling you? Are people messaging you? Are people sending you stuff online?
Seriously, I mean, from last week, I mean, to the kind of messages I get, I can't just count. I had to always get some time to just sit down and reply all messages.
But in all of this, what is your thinking?
Well, I think that this is something that it's a story that is like a miracle, and looking at where I came from to where I am now, I think that this is something that should inspire other people who are also in difficult situations, and they should also have hope that one day they could come out and also get somewhere.
What's your dream? What's your aspiration?
Well, as someone who has a background in accounting, I've gone to school and I've met a lot of students. Most accounting students have the dream of working with one of the big four companies. And so I think that was one of my dreams.
Did you ever want to be an accountant? When you were growing up, did you know what accounting was? Did you want to be an accountant, or you landed as an accountant by accident?
I won't say by accident, but it started somewhere, but not from the time I was very young. Because sometimes when you're growing up and you have people in your family who have gotten somewhere, they can guide you. But I didn't get it that way. I had to, dilly-dally and then struggle to be on the path.
Did you choose it, or someone chose it for you?
So I chose it. I chose it, yeah.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
You're happy with it. Yeah. But your grades, extraordinary, very sterling results. Do you sleep? Do you play? Do you watch movies?
It's something that is God-given, because I do a lot of things. When you see me at home, you don't even think that I attend university. Most people around here, I don't think they know that I even attend university. When I come home, my friends and I go there to play football. You see the jersey I'm wearing now. It's one of the teams that we play. We have this area league that we play here every weekend. And
you play well?
Yeah, I'm a DM. I think just last week we won the league with 1 mark to spare. Wow. And so I play football a lot. I like football. I watch football. Sometimes when you look at me, even at the hostel, people think that I don't learn because I waste a lot of time following football, yes.
And the unfortunate thing is that you support Chelsea.
Yes, I
find that very unfortunate.
But at least we are now on the top of the league.
Whatever.
The team you support, Manchester United.
It's okay. Don't rub it in. Don't rub it in. It's fine. Let's leave it there. Don't rub it in. How do your parents feel about all of this? Do they even understand what you have become? Do they understand that you wore a gown and all of that and was made to read a speech? Do your parents understand?
Yes, I think my mother knows that I went to read a speech. But my father, sometimes it's very difficult to get him to understand those things because they didn't have any experience about such things. And so when you are explaining things to them, you have to find a way of explaining to them to understand.
You have to explain first class. It's difficult.
She's able to understand the things a bit better. Yeah.
I see. Let me speak to the father. Please ask him for me what he makes of what Ali has become.
Allah ɓeydana ɗum worde ayo makko ɓeydu ɓeydu Allah walla ɗum Allah moƴƴinana ɗe jondeji meɗen en du e nokkure Gana ɗo joƴƴina jonde lobbere ɗum en du ñaagoto ɗe Allah walla ɗen kam woni ballo eyo ɗum woni ko haala.
Well, I think it's a very good news to the family, and we thank God for this singular opportunity, and we pray that going forward, more opportunities of such before the family and the rest of us in the country.
Ask him what happened to his children's school. We're told a lot of his children didn't go to school. Ali is the only one. How did that one succeed?
Ayo no Ali heɓi laawol ko yehiri sukuru ndu ani ɗo ko fodanano ko Allah fodi nawana ayo fukaɓe naatino amma huno Allah fodori hunde fof e jungo Allah woni nawana ɓi adama ko Allah newani ɗum laato fu ɗum laatto nawana ni foti ayo Allah ɗum kanko du Allah ni hokkimo e majju wona ke waɗanede sirri gon waɗanede goɗɗum fu e jungo Allah ɗum woni ay minen du ko ɗum nati ɗum laatori ni min ɗum weliri min sanne ɗum ngam min andi hunde fu faro Allah ƴurata nawana ayo enen du fu ɗum ñaagoto e ballaga Allah walla en ɗum ta aɗum niya e ɓandu ayo Allah ɗum nani wooɗi ni Allah moƴƴinanɗe Allah moƴƴinan asilamu fof hokka en jonde lobbere hokka en ndenagu hokka en suurare du suuro en nder leydi du Allah faabo en kam woni paabotoɗo.
Well, all his siblings, just like Ali himself, had some basic education. Just that Ali was very fortunate to get support from outside, and that is why he was able to make it to the university level. So I think it's God's grace. Otherwise, the brothers has also had some basic education. It's just that they too didn't get support. Otherwise, their story would have been different.
Ask him for me what his advice would be to other people who haven't sent their children to school, and whether opportunities are available for those people to what would he also advise them?
Ato ko kollam ɓe noon ka fa hannen hano irni e bandu niya so yii sukaɓe goɗɗo sukaɓe ɓe mani kinne gatte sukaɓe muɗum sukuru nawana wattama sukuru joni kam Allah fodi fa hannen kandu yaha yeeso fu nonni wori nawana fu e jungo Allah ɗum woni fu Allah moƴƴinanan en fu jomum en watti sukaɓe muɗum haya so ɗiɗo heɓi so goto heɓi fa hannen fu e golle Allah no nawana ni wori ayo ɗum ni ñaagoto jewɓe sukaɓe himɓeɓe kano goni gon ɗo fu min wawmi holla ɓe ayo ni wori haala.
So I will entreat each and everyone to send his or her ward to school. You shouldn't look at your economic hardship condition, because I was in the same soup and today Ali is here. It's a success story. So I would advise that everybody should take his ward to school. We didn't get that opportunity, and so if today anybody has that opportunity, I think it's a goal for everybody.
That's the father of Ali Nusa. The little he has to say about this. Let's hear from the mother. Inna barkaji meɗen.
Allah barkitore
ko matuɗa ke Ali hewtuɗo fa lenge woɓɓe wiyata ɗum ne woni ko miilɗa.
Allah jettoje Allah niya on kay ɗum weli ɗum wooɗi on tinnake sanne min jettiɗo fa hande Allah windu baraji Allah ɓeydu bawɗe.
I can't say much, but to say we thank you so much. First of all, we thank God and we thank City FM and the people within the City FM who were able to make this story a success story.
So gonga kami tinnake mi watti ɓe school ɓe jangi amma bawɗe ɗen yottaki toon ɗe ɗum waɗi ɓe fof ɓe ɓe ja school jonka ko darumi ɗum ɗon ni wattumi woɓɓe golle ɓe ekkiti golle ko toy to Ali ɗo jonka e bawɗe Allah min kawroy e makko kanko jonka kanko ni Allah walli kanko walli jonka fa ɗum yettoy to ɗum yetti joni ɗo miɗen jetta fa hande min jetti.
All right, with Ali's situation, I think both he, Ali, and his siblings have all had some basic education. We've tried so much, but we're living within a very tight budget means, and so we couldn't afford to graduate all of them to secondary school and then to university. And so at a point in time, we decided that the elder siblings should go learn some trade so that the meager amount that we get from trade, we use that to support Ali. But fortunately, some way, somehow, you came into the light and you were able to help through the City FM program. And today, Ali is a graduate. So we thank God and we thank you too.
Well, we are still celebrating the story of Ali Nusaf. We are in his house and talking to neighbors and family members. Let me speak to this man. Hello, sir. What's your name?
My name is Alaji Drusu Anang Niajete.
You are the assemblyman or the former assemblyman?
I'm a former assemblyman.
For this area?
Yes.
What's the name of your electoral area?
Busa electoral area.
Do you see many Alis in your community as you move around? Are there many children like Ali?
The type of Ali?
Yes. Children who are brilliant but don't have the support to go to school?
Many.
You see them?
Because when I'm assemblyman, education is my key. Because there's a law that every child should go to school.
F-cube?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So that's a former assemblyman for this electoral area who supported Ali when he was looking for a scholarship to go to the proceed to the secondary school, that is. He graduated with a aggregate 11 at the GHS level and could not proceed for financial reasons. Let's now hear from someone who was in the same school with Ali. Seeing the story that we are telling today, what is your thinking like?
If I would want to talk about tears of joy in my life, I think that was the first time I experienced that. I was looking at it and I was just shedding tears. I was asking, so why am I crying? And the picture that came first into my mind was the brothers looking at it, because I think one of the brother had the best results during our year. And then when I picture that and they couldn't further it, at least success brought joy to my heart. So I was very happy.
Indeed, so that's a story here. Grateful to God. Indeed, it is the story that is being told here repeatedly. Let's hear now from the neighbors of Ali, remembering his story, the support that he may or may not have gotten, but still he got here.
And there was one critical issue during his school in Wesley Grammar. I think 2 days before examination, and the scholarship was from the District Assembly's Common Fund. Normally the check comes late. And 2 days before examination, and the pressure on him was too much.
You haven't paid your fees?
He hasn't paid the fees. The check is not in. So we have to rush to the assembly. I think I called the assemblyman. I met the chief executive myself. We did everything possible. The process in granting those checks goes through a lot in the assembly. So we got the check around 5 p.m. in the evening at the district assembly. And before the check was granted, I even called the then member of parliament, Nila Afutiagbo. He has to speak to the chief executive to release
expedite.
To expedite it, because he wasn't having money in the MP's common fund. So he said, no, they can pay through the district assembly's common fund. So that's what. So from 5, by 7 o'clock, I'm in Wesley Grammar. I have to beat the gates and give him the check, because he has to also pay the check in the bank. There's a bank.
Banker's draft. They give banker's draft.
Yeah. There's a bank at the school. They share wall with the Methodist University in Wesley Grammar. So that was a critical moment. I think it was a tough time.
So this is how we wrap up the story of Ali Enusa from his family home in Kubekro number 2 on the Apollonia Stretch. My name is Umaru Sandama.